All around the world, there seems to be a rise in a lot of women filing false allegations against men. Now I gotta put a PSA out there, because I don't want to get canceled, but I don't condone men raping women. I don't condone men physically abusing women. I don't condone men mentally abusing women, and I don't condone men verbally abusing women or emotionally abusing women. With that being said, women shouldn't do that to men either. No one should do it to anybody. But it seems like when women file these charges against men, they get the benefit out of the doubt. You know, men are automatically assumed guilty until proven innocent, whereas if a man was to file the same charges against a woman, you know, they gotta pay millions of dollars to prove that, you know, the woman did these things. Or they gotta pay millions of dollars to prove that the man is innocent, you know? So it's ridiculous. And it's definitely on a rise in the States. As you can see what happened in the case with Johnny Depp and his ex-wife.
She brought up the situation of the fecal matter on the bed, and she just tried to blame it on the dogs.
I felt this pressure. He thought he was punching me.
Did you provide a copy of this pamphlet to Amber Heard?
I did not identify her as a victim of domestic violence.
Is that the sole reason why you did not give that to Amber Heard?
Yes, we want to give them to victims of domestic violence.
He had to go to trial to prove his innocence. You know, same thing would happen with Jonathan Majors. He had to go to trial to prove his innocence.
Jonathan Majors had to literally fight her off of him in order to get away from her. This is ridiculous.
Jonathan Majors had to get cameras from CCTV for blocks to show this woman running after him, you know, trying to track him down. Even in the Bahamas, we had a comedian by the name of King Cloud. He just had this case thrown out because the woman filed allegations against him and never showed up to court. Have a listen to what he had to say.
I do not feel justice at all. Do not feel justice because that don't bring back the time I lost. That don't bring back the money that I lost. That don't bring back the relationship and the stress. Listen to me. I've been through so much, both financially and physically and mentally and emotionally over the past 1 year and 4 months.
But let's press rewind to day one, the day of his arrest.
These police officers ain't even say good afternoon before they lock me up. I didn't know what I was locked up for up until Sunday. I was locked up from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
It was on Sunday, he says, he got the shock of his life.
I eventually got the CDO on that Sunday. And the first time I've ever met that young lady was when she sat across from me in CDO and we had the interview.
Fast forward from that interview at the Criminal Investigation Department to the courtroom.
These guys carry me to court with shackles on my hand, shackles on my feet. I felt like the biggest criminal in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Over the next 16 months, King Cloud says his accuser never showed up.
Yesterday also made it the 8th time I've been to court and this young lady did not show up. One option was, okay, we are going to dismiss this case, but the young lady can come back anytime she wants to and still put this case through. I'm not sure what was the term for that. Or the next option is I can 100% acquit this case and it's done with, finished with. She can't come back and press no, it's finished with. And that's the option. That's what the judge went with.
Today, he's got some questions of his own.
If I walk in the police station right now and say, Suzanne, do this to me, you really think Suzanne lock up? Before I even had time to breathe in and out at my first hearing, this was on radio stations, this was in the newspapers, people had it on Facebook, people had it all over WhatsApp. This young lady didn't even have her face and her name posted on social media. So you're trying to tell me, right? During the course of 1 year and 4 months, no one don't even know this girl's name. First name, last name, can't even say how this girl look. I don't feel justice.
He's absolutely correct, and people still have no idea who she is or how she looks.
I will not feel justice until this young lady is in the public eye, until people know exactly who she is. The sad part about it is, as long as I live in the Bahamas, if it can happen once, it can definitely happen again.
So as you can see, this is a major issue going on all around the world. And it's very serious because this means that any woman, you don't even have to know her or be aware of her. She don't even have to exist in your world, and she could accuse you of something and they could haul you off to jail and, you know, check all the cameras to see that you was nowhere, never around her, you know, and that's if you could afford it.
Feel bad
like
after.
false accusations are a real thing, and women lie about that all the time to get sympathy and garner some type of attention to themselves because they regret. Here's the thing, we live in a crazy ass world where girls can come by and say, me too, me too, me too, with zero facts, zero evidence. Right now, they got one of my good friends in jail over some allegations that aren't true, that are false. Andrew Tate, in prison right now with WhatsApp messages showing that the girls lied, with video surveillance evidence that shows that the girls lied, all this evidence, but we believe women all the time.
Yep.
So here's my thing. I think people that commit sexual assault need to be put in prison. However, for that to happen, women need to come forward with real allegations.
It's just craziness. And women should have repercussions for falsely accusing men of crimes. No, I do not think this will lead to women that really were raped and really were assaulted to not come forward. I think women that these terrible things have happened to will have evidence on their side to prove this kind of thing. And I think there needs to be a push for laws to be passed that make the definitions very clear and less subjective, and also get laws passed where there are repercussions for women falsely accusing men.
A regular guy can't pay for all this stuff, you know, so it's all about connections, and I guess you gotta stay to yourself.
Why are men afraid of being falsely accused? Just stay indoors. Don't put yourself in situations like these. Don't drink. Dress modestly so that women don't mistaken y'all for predators. Stay home, especially during night, so you don't stand a chance to appear threatening. Problem solved.
Because it's ridiculous.
Look, yo, you got to watch Shorts to View all the time, anytime, overtime, under time, between the time. Shorts to View. That's how Johnny Cake said. Ha!